Hello, everybody. This is new for me. Going live. I figured I would try on the Aries full moon. It seemed fitting for some reason. I do enjoy just recording videos ahead of time, but I'm an Aries sun, and this full moon is close to my sun, about, well, 17 degrees off, but it was over it last night, and I figured I would go live today. And the full moon's gonna be exact on the East Coast time in about an hour. So, yeah, so I'm here. I hope some people join. If not, that's okay. So I have a lot of information, like always, for you about this full moon. It's for me, I believe it's awesome. I believe a few people have been feeling the fiery energy that comes with the Aries archetype. I'm gonna take these off so you guys can see my eyes. The glare is coming in. Um, but we can utilize this for, for our benefit. We can utilize this inspiration, this fiery spark that might be coming through, to good use always. And so the title that I put for this is "You Can Be a Lover and a Fighter." And I truly believe that as an Aries sun myself, somebody who fights for what she believes in. And has courage and passion behind it when I'm going after something that I very much care about. Um, it's a natural instinct, right? So for me to fight for what I want to go after, and we don't always have to look at fighting in a negative mindset. And if I sound weird, by the way, I'm coming off a cold. I've had a bad like respiratory infection for about 5 days. I'm feeling a lot better, but you can still hear it in my voice. So I'll just sound like this. But I came to this realization a while, like about a year ago when I was in Thailand, and I went to a Muay Thai match. And I fell in love with the art of Muay Thai because the way that the two competitors were fighting with each other was in a dance like motion, right? There's like certain moves or maneuvers that you make. I've never taken Muay Thai, but there's like an ebb and a flow to it. But at the end of every match, they went to each other and made sure that each other were okay. Like they would, like they felt bad hitting each other, even though that was part of the competition. And I just loved that because there was an underlying understanding of the sport and no boundaries were being crossed. And they were respectful to each other and still caring at the end. And um, you could tell who there was different levels in the fight, right? They started off with two kids. They were like 10 years old. It's Thailand. And then there was a like 13-year-old group, and then maybe they looked like late teens, like early 20s, and it kind of just went up. And there are some expats from other countries. Like I remember I saw a British guy, and this is nothing against the Brits. If you're in Brit, I'm not like hating on Brits or anything like that. However, he was fighting against a Thai national, and it looked like he had been training for, like, a while, and which it could be because you can go to Thailand and train to fight for, like, a month. They do in these boxing gyms all over there, which is quite cool. Um, but he was more competitive and he was more brutal about it all than the Thai guy, and it wasn't like the Thai guy didn't know how to fight. It was like he understood, the dynamics behind Muay Thai more as a spiritual way of fighting than the British guy did. And so when we're thinking about this Aries full moon, I want you to get in the mindset of like remembering what makes you what makes you hot under the collar? What makes you wanna have drive and purpose and, Aries is Mars ruled, right? Like, what gets you going? And think about it on all the planes, right? All the planes. Like, sometimes you can get just really angry for something or somebody said something to us, or sometimes we can get really excited about a project, and that's like a different type of fiery energy that can come up in us, right? And I think the importance here is that the flame can burn. You can allow this flame to burn, a passion flame, just and it can become a fire, right? That I think of Aries as absolute wildfires. Whereas like Leo, is like the campfire, and like Sagittarius is like candles or um, like dimmer flames around. I'm so sorry about my voice, guys. Give me a minute. I'm here. Okay. Come at your flame with a spiritual purpose, like a spiritual understanding underneath. Like, is this from a place of love? Always, always, always is this from a place of love. And this is important because love is the one vibration that matters in our universe. Okay. It is the only vibration, truly, when we think about it. When you have another feeling, and we'll go to hate, for instance, because people could have been very angry around the last few days. Okay. You might have been experiencing people coming at you with some sort of anger, or you going at them with some sort of anger. But where is that coming from? If it was coming from hate, hate is just is just formed from not love. Okay. It's because you're not loved or you feel not loved. So you hate, you get angry. But love is the underlying principle with everything. And so we can let go. We can let go of these vibrations that don't serve us. We can release them and funnel them into the heart chakra and allow love in, okay? And reflect off, like create an aura around you. Think of it as like a nice red protective layer around you that just bounces off negative energy when somebody's coming at you with it, because it's really just a reflection. They're seeing a reflection of themselves in you, and that's why they're angry for whatever reason it is. Okay. And not that people don't have valid reasons to be angry sometimes. Like, of course they do. But it's how we approach it, right? So, um, with an Aries full moon, another example before I get into the aspects of the full moon, my friend who's a comedian was telling me yesterday how she got in a fight with her son, and her son's like a 15-year-old son, and she just bought him a new phone, and then he was fighting with her, and he does what 15-year-olds do, and he takes his backpack and he says, "I'm walking home," to his dad's, right? "I'm walking home." And she's like, "No, you're not. Get in the effing car," right? And so the parents hopefully can relate to this, and maybe your children were fighting with you the last few days. This war, right? This battle, and you know, she loves him and he loves her, but whatever reason, he's just angry, right? So we could have been experienced that the last couple of days. I know I seen it in my life too. So um it's good to be objective in this kind of energy whenever this shows up. Aries moons, Mars and Aries, just any transit to Aries, or the Eris Pluto square that we've been having all year. um yeah, it's tough sometimes. It's a battle, right? But we can be a lover and a fighter, because if we have love at the core root of every action that we take, even if we're fired up over something, we can still fight for what we believe in. We can still have the courage, Aries, the courage to say what we need to say. Um, we can still be assertive, right? But in a loving, compassionate manner, right? It doesn't have to be vile. It's all about awareness. So we're creating awareness in this space today. The moon will eventually, later today, like later tonight, move into Taurus, and that will ground us. Like the Taurus moon is lovely. It'll be comfy, cozy, it'll be more grounded. So any emotions or feelings, or mindsets that have been just kind of like flaring up will come down to center again. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about was around this time we've been experiencing some planets move direct. So Mercury and Jupiter both moved direct on October 18th. Mercury's been in Libra retrograde, and we're still in her its retrograde shadow, and will be until about the beginning of November when it steps out of the shadow period and gets beyond 23 degrees where it's stationed retrograde. So you want to look at like 10 degrees of Libra to 23 degrees of Libra, where Mercury is going back over these degrees and what aspects it's making to the planets in your chart, if any. Regardless, it's still affecting you in some type of way. And so, what Mercury does during its retrograde period is it brings us something to work on. When it goes retrograde, we often get new insights or information to process about that. And then when he stations direct again, then we can implement it. We often get a third pass of information, like three times charm, to integrate more awareness into whatever topic is being explored. I think personally, with Mercury in Libra, this is very much about the relationship dynamics that we are having in our life. And it's really important because we need now more than ever as a world, as a society, to work together for the common cause, right? Especially for the United States, for instance, where we're seeing our structures crumble. They are crumbling. Stop putting your energy into the old things because those are leaving us. They're going away. They are coming down. The Tower card, they're just things are changing here in the United States, and on other parts of the world seriously are being changed too. I'm obviously more in tune with the United States because I live here, but I do follow worldly news and I do see it in other countries as well. So we have to work together. And this Mercury retrograde in Libra has been asking us to look at the relationship dynamics around us and the people that we have around us, and how we communicate with each other, how we compromise, how we reach harmony and balance. Okay. And it's through the extremes of Libra where we have to experience those extremes so we can find the middle ground and that sweet spot. Okay, it's because Libra doesn't know balance. It has to experience the scale effect to get the balance. And that's wisdom. That's okay. That's life. Um, so if you can think about what kind of relationship dynamics have been coming up for you over the last few weeks, over the last year, because um, we've had lots of transits that speak to this. And ever since we've been in Libra season, which we're slowly going to in a few days, shift into Scorpio season, which is going to be intense. Good intense. Don't be scared. these are these are very profound changes that we're going through, but right now we're in a time where we're developing a strong sense of identity. We're facing challenges head on, and we're being asked to really come, from an authentic approach in life, right? Like really come. So Jupiter also moved direct. Okay. And Jupiter is the truths that we establish for ourselves in our life and our belief systems that we hold on to in our lives. It's also where we want to expand or where we should push boundaries to grow beyond. And it's been in Aquarius. So as a society, we're looking to stretch beyond the, the societal structures that we've been conditioned to for so long, okay? This transit is wanting us to develop more as a society of people coming together, and expand and reach out on more levels, and we can see this through technology, through the way social media has exploded and changed. The outreach, the COVID came, and then everybody was on Zoom with each other, and I have met so many friends from so many different countries since 2020. It's been wonderful, and the way I view this is that we are actually connecting with more parts of the world on a regular basis. This is expanding our horizon, the way that we take information in, the way that we relate to other people. We're getting new perspectives from other people. We're learning new things. And this very much ties into um, the Venus in Sagittarius um, transit that we're experiencing right now, right? So Venus is going through Sagittarius, and she's aspecting some of the other planets, and Venus is again our relationship dynamics, right? If you think about Venus, it's ruled by the second house and the seventh house naturally in the zodiac. How we relate to other people, seventh house, are our relationships, personal relationships, close friends, close family members, lovers, husbands, wives, very important dynamics in our life. Second house, our values, what we believe to sustain us, our assets, what's really important for us to give us safety and security. Okay, these are like core Taurus qualities, right? The ground that we plant all of our seeds in. So Venus, who rules like some of these assets of that, like money and possession and beauty and culture, she's in Sagittarius, highlighting a Jupiter ruled sign. What are your truths? What are your beliefs around these topics? And we're getting the opportunity with the Mercury retrograde in Libra going direct to have conversations, to get new information and new perspectives in from people so that we can expand, learn more, and grow our beliefs and how we relate to each other. And you don't have to take new information in and make it your own, but it is good to be open to it because you never know what might shift your perspective and help you evolve and grow in your own journey. We can't be closed off all the time, not willing to take in somebody else's perspective or outlook, right? The more perspective you take in, I believe the higher you fly. And I am into flying, right? When you get a bird's eye view, you realize how small the world is, right? And we feel we're on the ground all the time, like we're in our little homes, like we're in our little cul-de-sacs and our streets, and we're living our little lives, and we're going to our job, and but we are all connected. It's it's a really big concept to take in sometimes, to kind of step back and really think about how we're all connected here because we are. And it's a beautiful thing. And when I was flying 5,000 feet in the air, I'm looking at how small the world is at that view. And I'm like, oh, wow, it takes me like 20 minutes to get from here to here, but that would take me an hour in the car. The world is not that big. And I've been to the other side of the world. I lived in China. I've been to Thailand. I've been to I've been to almost to South America. Yeah, I've been to South America, Costa Rica. I've been to Spain, um, Ireland, all these other parts of the world, and we're all human. We're all the same, and we have different cultures. And then and in doing all that traveling and continue to travel, you gain so many more perspectives of the world and how we relate, and your mind and your consciousness expands and you become more understanding, and that is what unconditional love is. right? And so this goes back to being a lover and a fighter at the same time. Fight for love, fight for humanity, fight for each other, fight for making this world a better place so that your children can grow up in a safer environment, so that we can live better lives when we're ready to retire, right? So we can breathe in clean air. So when we reincarnate, we're not, excuse my language, fucked. If you believe in reincarnation, which I very much do, I don't want to come back to a world that's worse off than where I left it. So the sky right now is like all moving direct because it's given us so many months and so many times to just take in information and to go and just process our own lives and to uncover dirt because, Pluto was retrograde and Pluto was the first one to take off direct. But when Pluto was retrograde, it was like, hey, let's look at the subconscious material. Let's look and let's dig in. I know it's painful. I know it's dark. I know it's deep. But the more that you bring to the light, the higher you vibrate, the less that directs you. Like Carl Jung would say, God, what's his quote? This is funny. Lives are funny. Um, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna quote it in the show notes. But what what is unconscious directs your life and you call it fate. That's what he said. And it's true because when I've seen and I've learned through my own spiritual awakening and my own spiritual journey and process, and I'm always going to learn and continue to get better and grow. But a few years ago, things I would do because I was unconscious about some stuff, and then certain things would manifest in my life, and you would think that, oh, this is life. No. No, you're 100% responsible for your life, every single part of it. You are. And this is gonna be tough love today, actually, is that we have to take responsibility for our choices, our actions, our thoughts, our vibration, our heart space. The only person that can make you feel safe and secure in this life is you. That's it. Yes, I can have a husband one day and have a stable relationship and security in that. But when it comes down to the end of the day, you really have to ground yourself and make yourself feel safe and secure no matter what. You create that line of sanity, and all the rest of your chakras will align, but only you can do that. And we can't be relying on other people to do that for us. We have to take responsibility for our life, reflect on ourselves, continue to grow, be open. You don't have to take on other people's beliefs, but at least be understanding and open. And unconditional love means that there is no condition to have love. It's not based on ultimatums or anything like that. It's I love you and I accept you for who you are, your individual self. And you will know every time you look at a natal chart how different it is and how uniquely wired an individual is, that they're meant to do that chart, that life, that purpose. And the more that we help ourselves, we literally are able to help others. But if we're not good first, it's you're only hurting other people because you're damaged and you're bringing that damage in. And there's nothing wrong with being damaged either. Like, been there many times. Sometimes you go like things happen on and off, and you heal and you grow. And you want to learn from other people who've been through it, been through the same types of scenarios that you have. So this Venus and Sagittarius transit is very important. And then, Mercury is going to go into Scorpio. And I will imagine, and November is going to be tough. November is going to be a little bit of a rough month for some people. But don't be afraid of it. Just be aware of it and get control of your vibration and your heart space. Okay, prep yourself for compassionate battles, if that makes sense. Get your heart and mind space ready. And this full moon in Aries will illuminate what needs to change. for you? What needs a fresh start? You can release something today, and then when the moon moves into Taurus, you can ground a new belief, a new thought, a new way of just going about things or handling something. You can say, you know what? From here on forward, I'm going to reflect negative energy that comes at me. I'm going to create this red aura barrier around me, and any negative energy is just going to bounce right off of it. And I'm going to say, you know, you have your feelings are valid, but what you're saying is not my truth. Maybe it's your truth. You need to like reflect on it, but it's not mine. And then you've taken responsibility over your emotions, your actions, your energy, your heart space, your vibration, and you will feel it rise. Yeah, you'll feel it rise. And then that will take off like a wildfire. Aries just goes, just do it. I swear to God, whoever created the Nike slogan must have been an Aries. Just do it. It's very Aries to me. Yeah, so let me see. You know, I'll go over the houses to help people in this full moon. Since I've just been so like morning casual for this video. So if this full moon is happening in your first house, so that would be Aries, Aries rising, this is about your self autonomy. And you'll experience the projection thing that I was talking about, other people projecting onto you. But it's up to you to take that new direction in your life, okay? And sometimes we can get caught up in other people's projections, and we can get bothered by them, and they can you know, wear us down. But that's again stepping into your own truth, having the courage to speak up and stand up for yourself and create that red barrier and just say nope, not today. You know, I'm raising my vibration from the inside, from my root chakra, from my heart space. It's all coming out, and you know, I'm going to step into my own truths and what I believe, and I'm going to be autonomous in this way. And you can create a new direction in that. You know, release something if something is holding you back like that, or how you present yourself, or how you feel about yourself. You can release that with this new full moon and step into a brighter version of you. If it's in the second house, this is affecting your self-worth. Okay. This is, you know, you might have financial structures that are shifting or coming to illumination. Something needs to shift or something needs to take off. Um, you know, this will highlight what assets are important to you and what aren't. And you can do a quick release of some because Aries is very quick, and you can jump into something new. Like maybe something's been like ruminating for you under the surface, and now you have the courage to step into it, or use the Aries full moon courage to step into it. Okay, we should let go of something in order to create space for something new, truly. So if something's not working always with a full moon, it's a really good time to release it. If this is in your third house, this is highlighting communication with your siblings or your neighbors or your relatives. So they might have been coming at you headstrong. You know, you might have gotten in a fight with somebody, or like my friend, you know, with the child or whatever. This actually happened for her in her third house. So she had this like dynamic with her son. It was squashed really fast, but I was like, hey, don't, because she felt really hurt and upset by it. And I said, don't be, it's just the energy in the sky. And, you know, he's a 15-year-old. He's going through the 15-year-old stuff. So awareness helps, you know, settle all this. But this could also highlight any like documents you've been putting off, communication stuff, like really important texts or emails, or, you know, maybe you've got a podcast project working on with somebody or something, and it's highlighting like, okay, we need to move forward with this, or we need to let this go and maybe go forward with this instead. The fourth house, this will have to do with your family. You know, Maybe you're moving, maybe you're in the middle of moving. A lot of people have been moving with this energy, and that would be illuminating some certain aspects around that. Maybe you need to find a new place that feels safe. Maybe there is highlighted anger in the home and family, or you needed to step up and take charge in some type of way in the home life. Okay, this could also highlight some dreams, some intense dreams. I would definitely write them down if you had some over the last few days, tonight, tomorrow night, because the fourth house is naturally ruled by Cancer, which is the moon, very into dreams, very linked to dreaming. So I would take note of that if the full moon is happening in your fourth house. Usually, the subconscious or our spirit guides speak to us through dreams. In the fifth house, this is highlighting the creative self expression, creative goals. I would say show yourself, rough up the flat feathers, go out with the project. Like, even if you're feeling a little shy, because with an Aries fifth house, you can feel a little like shy to express yourself because it's like, I want to do it, but I'm really nervous because I don't know what's going to happen. But then you just go for it anyway. It would be a really good time to be creative around full moons in the fifth house for sure. You might get a lot of recognition if you do. The sixth house will be highlighting your work and daily routine. If any health aspects are coming up, definitely go to the doctors and get them checked out. The full moon will be illuminating that, or you could be implementing and initiating like a new routine, like a new health routine. Like, I'm going to go jogging every day, or I'm going to drink a gallon of water now every day. Or you could be letting go of something like, I'm going to give up meat. Hey, just saying, vegetarian 3 years. And it's amazing, guys. I'm going to give up meat, or I'm going to give up liquor for, 30 days or something. Could be highlighted around, your mental health, your work life, your daily routine, pets. Maybe you're getting a new dog, or maybe you're saying goodbye to a puppy. I don't want to say puppy. Oh my God, saying goodbye to a pet, um, which then you might get a new pet down the road when you're ready. So those things can be highlighted in the sixth house. Seventh house, this is all about partnerships and relationships. So yeah, it could be good or bad, but I would say if relationships are taking like a kind of a heavy hit right now and it's very cantankerous in the relationship field, I would come at it with that lover and a fighter approach, the unconditional love, the coming from a vibrational space of heart space. You have a reason and a right to express yourself, and your feelings are always valid, but make sure that it's coming from a place that's not hate, which is when you don't feel loved. Make sure that it's not love based on conditions. It's, I love you as you are and who you are, and this is what's bothering me. The full moon has brought this into the light. I see it. We can release it. We can make space for happier stuff to grow in. Or you could be losing a relationship and gaining a new one, or people could be getting married. They could be tying the knot. It depends how you look at the energy and what kind of headspace you're in for this. The eighth house would be highlighting repaying loans. Like, if you have any debt, this could be illuminated right now and be like on a spotlight, like, hey, we need to take care of this like quickly, sooner than later. Or you could be experiencing joint um, structures. What am I? You could be joining together with another person in like a business project, or some type of loan, or you could be buying a house. So you're signing a loan, and this is like a culmination of like the house buying process, and it's just finishing. For instance, it's where we share money and we have shared resources. This would also be good for people who are fundraising. If you're in the fundraising field, or this is happening for you, somebody who's in fundraising, this would be a really good time to like put the flyers out and go ham on the fundraising, right? Make it known, be very fierce about it. We're going to raise money to fight for this cause. Lover fighter aspect, Aries full moon, eighth house. That would be so wonderful, actually, for all of you guys who have Aries 8th house full moons. The ninth house, and power dynamics can come into play with the eighth house too. So that could be illuminated as well, wherever you might have a power dynamic, where it's like work or home or family. Those issues can come out with the eighth house too. It's very much about the intimacy of life, like the deep stuff in life. That stuff will be illuminated. This could be also a very fun, sexually charged full moon for all the houses, really, because Aries is a a feisty, very feisty sign ruled by Mars, but especially in the eighth house, sex magic is very real. Go for it, do it. It's very powerful. Write a red candle, use some oils, get in the zone. You know what to do. um, the ninth house, your beliefs could be up for review. You could be letting go of some serious beliefs and inviting some new ones in. You could be completing a course and starting a new course. If you're a writer, put it out there, put it out in the world today. Publish that article you've been thinking about publishing, even if it's just one article that you've ever written, just do it. It's a really good day for ninth house things, that stuff that brings you out in the world, or booking a trip. If you're interested in a trip, you might get some really good deals today on the full moon. And, you might find like a new place that you never thought of going. It might just pop up for you. And I kind of say be spontaneous with that kind of energy and go for it, because you never know what it's going to bring. The 10th house, and I have stories about spontaneous traveling, which we'll share for another day, but fabulous. Spontaneous traveling is fabulous. For the 10th house, your work in the world is being highlighted right now. Like you're definitely, your midheaven is shining out there. And, you might be asked to take charge of something really important. Somebody might put you in a new leadership role. You could get promoted. You could get demoted. Depends how you've been handling yourself, right? There's duality with everything in life. But hopefully you get promoted. You can come into clashes with people in authority, because this is a house that's naturally ruled by Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. It usually deals with authority figures. You could be butting heads with somebody. So that's why, again, come from a space of love, learn how to negotiate. Mercury is still in Libra. We can negotiate. You might have an extreme. You might experience the extremes of somebody else. They're just projecting. It's okay. You can step back. You can have the tools and the awareness of what projection is, right? And what reflection is, and not take it personally. Again, let that bounce off your aura. Protect yourself. Protect your vibration. If it's in the 11th house, yay, groups and fun things, networking, that all comes to life. You could be wanting to get involved in like a new group or some type of new fun. Okay. This is humanitarian social aspects of your life. This could also link to like fundraising kind of stuff, right? What can I do for my friends or my groups that I'm associated with, or the networks, or what can I do to achieve my hopes and wishes? Because the 11th house can also be like goals and higher aspirations, in a Uranian way, okay, in a very like eccentric way. So this is actually a full moon that could just be something erratic that happens for you, that like kind of comes out of nowhere. Maybe you get an opportunity, or your work comes out and just hits like a big group of people in like an erratic way. Maybe like your social media following just kind of takes off on this kind of full moon day if you have an Aries 11th house. It could be really positive, and you can manifest these things too. You can work with this energy truly and put the vibration out there, ask for it, and then be open and ready to receive it. Don't fight it. Don't think negatively about it after that. You put out the energy, and then you ask for it to come back, and it will. In the 12th house, a full moon, usually in the 12th house, I would say get some rest, get some sleep. try not to try to stay at home and stay away from the angry people. You know, you'll want to deal with your emotions because the moon is about our emotions, right? In a very self-nurturing way. I like tap into your spiritual sense, listen to some music, like very soothing music. Just kind of space out, or maybe go for like a hike solo. I would say a little bit of solitude would be really good for any planet in the 12th house because you really want to recharge yourself. It's like when we cleanse our crystals in the water in a full moon, you kind of want to cleanse your soul and your body and your spirit, right? Um, so because your subconscious might be like fire, like I got so much. So that's a lot to be in like high gear all the time, right? So you'll want to like just tone it down a little bit, and really take charge over your health if you have a 12th house full moon. Just book the massage or book the pedicure, if you can, or just take a really nice soothing bath. Or since this is a fire sign, if you can have a campfire out under the moonlight and meditate and like listen to nature. These are just some ideas that's coming to me. So yeah, so I thought that would be fun to go through the full moon in all the 12 houses. We have other aspects going on, but I really thought that what we talked about today is really important for the upcoming energy. You know, the sun and Mars are both squaring Pluto in the chart as well. So Pluto wants us to transform on a deep level. Mars is going to ask us to take action. Um, and the sun is our purpose and what we're focused on right here in this moment. And you'll notice when you track the sun and it transits your houses that certain topics come up around those houses. And when it shifts into the signs, certain signs, the archetype of those signs, they come up too. So, for instance, for me, the sun and Mars has been transiting my 12th house. I've kind of been overdoing it with work, which is why I got sick. Control, too much throat chakra, control, right? So, it is best for us to be mindful of where the sun is transiting in our chart, especially with this sun and Mars with this square to Pluto, because it's highlighting where you need to put your focus on, where the sun is. Um, in order to transform with the Pluto, in order to bring a transformation. Okay. So that's why I came on here today very relaxed, very like full moon morning vibe with the coffee, just a nice chill conversation with you guys. Because I do need to relax a little bit until the sun gets out of my 12th house, which is very soon. Like always, everybody, I wish you a lovely, lovely full moon. If you're riding the waves of contentious energy with other people, it's about to dim down later today. So no fret, no worry. I hope that this video gave you some good advice, that you learned some things. And like always, if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments. You can always reach out to me. And I will be back again for more transits very soon. When I get better, I do want to go into the nodal shift that we're going to be experiencing very soon. Eclipse season is coming up. We've got Neptune, Pallas Athena, Chiron, Eris, and Uranus all going direct over the next 3 months, right? From now until January. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm ready. If you like this live, please let me know. I'd love to just do more lives. I could talk to people. I'm a Libra rising. I need to communicate with you. So everybody have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful full moon. I mean that from my Aries heart to you. I will be back. Thanks so much.